Hello and welcome back to Read Becca for a haul. We have not done one of these in a little while. I've been sort of accumulating a couple books here and there. Some of them you will have seen before, but mainly I haven't gone on any sort of big shopping for books since like October, I think. So this is the accumulation since then. And then of course my birthday at the end of November, I did get a couple gift cards. We had $100 of gift cards to use, and I blew it all at half price books, naturally. So I got 18 books for $105. I did pretty darn well there, I would say. So I've got a little over 20 books to cover. Some of these you will have seen before because I've talked about my Coffee House Press subscription, basically. And let's jump right in with a kind of a random pickup from Goodwill. I decided to check out my Goodwill's book selection because I've seen people go to their Goodwill and have great success. And it turned out the Goodwill near me has just a few shelves. They're kind of tucked back by the bathroom. Like, I almost couldn't find them, but I did finally find the book selection, and it was okay. It seems pretty clear. They maybe turn over their books pretty quickly. And so selection was sparse, but okay. So I did pick up one book there though, and these were, I think, $2.25 or something. So this is a nice hardback of Christopher Moore's Secondhand Souls. Christopher Moore is very satirical, so I would say in the same vein as like Douglas Adams, Terry Pratchett, and I don't think I have started this series. This is the second book following A Dirty Job, I believe, or yeah, I think it actually says there, and that is obviously following Grim Reaper, or a person who gets drafted to become a Grim Reaper. So definitely enjoy his sense of humor. His book Lamb is one of my favorites of all time. So yeah, just happy to have that and a very nice copy of it. Then we had one that I bought full price because I was just needing to fill out an order for gifts for people and wanted free shipping. And so I was actually looking for a different Aaliyah Whiteley, the beauty I wanted to purchase and have on my shelves, and they did not have that, but they did have this one, The Arrival of Missives. I can't make sense out of really what the plot of this is. It seems like there's kind of three story threads all surrounding the arrival of a letter around the Great War. So I don't know if this is pure historical fiction or if it has speculative elements. It doesn't make clear whether or not that letter is going to change something for the future, and if it's actually like a timey-wimey situation, or if it's just they need to take action based on this letter to save some problem that's going to happen. But this also has a bonus story, The Last Voyage of the Smiling Henry. So that's similar to The Beauty as well, came as like a two novella thing. So this I think is going to be like a novella and a novelette type length situation. So I'm very excited for both of these. I haven't heard anybody talking about them, and I really enjoyed Aaliyah Whiteley's The Beauty and the other story that was in that. Then we have my Coffee House Press books that I've already shown a little bit. So I already read Alive at the End of the World by Saeed Jones. This is a poetry collection I enjoyed so much. It just has really beautiful writing. It's a little challenging as a non-poetry reader, but overall I enjoyed it, and it's covering themes of race and identity, sexuality, and surviving those things, the difficulties presented by those things. It also incorporates a lot about pop culture that I enjoyed. So just really enjoyed this poetry collection. Then we have another poetry collection, Dot by Ron Padgett. This is, I have not read this one yet, but it also seems like it might be appealing to a non-poetry reader. It seems to get into commenting on the oddities of day-to-day living, and the couple of poems that I kind of flipped through when I got it seemed very intriguing. Then we have a maybe auto-fiction novel, Bilbao, New York, Bilbao, and this one is by Carmen Uribe. And this one is following, I think, Basque or Spanish individual traveling from Bilbao to New York and back, and thinking through 3 generations of life over the course of this plane journey, as far as I understand. And then Participation by Anna Moshavakis. I have mentioned Anna Moshavakis previously as also a translator. I really enjoyed her translation of At Night All Blood is Black. And so I'm curious to get into this book. This seems like it's going to be a weird dystopian sci-fi, perhaps. It seems very like experimental. So the blurb and the reviews don't really make sense of the plot for this one, so I'm expecting very strange. Then we get into the big massive haul from Half Price Books. The first one from Half Price Books I have is The Gutter Prayer by Gareth Hanrahan. This is definitely kind of gritty, dark fantasy. I think this does have high magic, like full-on sorcery type magic, but we're following mainly, I believe, a group of thieves. So this is that sort of thing. I had this on my 2021 TBR and never got to it. I know I can get it via ebook from my library, but having the physical, I think, will make me more likely to pick it up, hopefully. Yeah, and this was on the clearance rack for $2. This sticker is really stuck, so I'm gonna have to do a little work to get it off with some Goo Gone, but hopefully it will come off. It's in good condition. The spine's a little broken, but overall very readable and clean. Then, did I need a fourth copy? Yes, I did, definitely. This is The Word for World is Forest by Ursula K. Le Guin. This is the only Hainish novel I have not actually read yet. However, and as I said, I have 4 copies, so that I have no excuses. This one is the lovely SF Masterworks, and it's in perfect condition. No dings to the spine at all, so it seems brand new. I got it for $5. And this one, what put me over on actually picking this up is that this has both the original intro by Le Guin herself, but it has a new introduction by Ken MacLeod. So I just want to have that. I love having all of the introductions. So yes, very happy to have this and hopefully finally read it soon. Then I picked up a really lovely copy of The City in the Middle of the Night by Charlie Jane Anders. This was $5 as well, and it has beautiful sprayed edges, so I'm super happy to have it. I adored Anders' previous book, All the Birds in the Sky. And so this one I know very little about the actual story other than the setting. So that this whole city situation is that their planet is split, with one side being completely light all the time and the other side being completely dark. So the middle area in the planet is the only habitable area. So that's what I know about it, basically, and I don't know anything about the plot. So that's very intriguing to me. Then we have one I haven't heard anybody talking about, and this is The Flame Alphabet by Ben Marcus. And I love that cover. It's very, very intriguing. And this was another one on the clearance rack for $2. So in this book, it kind of reminds me of that book where the kids are spontaneously combusting. But here we have kids who are sort of giving their parents a virus. Almost, they become toxic to their parents. The sound of their voices becomes toxic to adults or their parents. So yeah, I don't want to know too much about that. It sounds like a really intriguing premise, and from what I understand in the blurb, it's following these 2 parents who are like desperately trying to care for their kids despite being toxic and dealing with the effects of their kids being around and speaking around them. So yeah, really intriguing premise. Then we have one I know nothing about, The Border of Paradise by Esme Wei-Jin Wang. If you have been around, you know I recently read Esme Wei-Jin Wang's collection of essays, The Collected Schizophrenia. So this is fiction. I don't even know, I think this is just historical fiction about like a generational saga. But I love the cover, and I think this one was also clearance rack for $2. So I absolutely had to grab it. I'm really interested to see what she will do in fiction. Then we have an interesting biography. This is Howard Phillips Lovecraft, The Dreamer on the Nightside by Frank Belknap Long. And I pretty much just got it for the cover, but I also am a huge fan of H.P. Lovecraft. So this is a biography by, the author is someone who knew him in life and wrote this quite short biography about him. And so I think that would be very, very interesting to read, because obviously having the reflective lens on who he was as a person now, or this is not current, this is somewhat dated now, but from a more modern lens than at the time when he was living. So that should be very intriguing. And then we have a couple classics. So we've got Thomas Hardy's Tess of the D'Urbervilles. I have read this before, and I really want to reread it to see if it holds up to my memory, or if my memory of the feelings that it evoked are accurate. I don't completely remember the plot, and I don't want to actually recheck the plot. As far as I remember, Tess kind of goes through some hard times. Like she's extremely put upon by the world, and I think that's what I recall. So yeah, this was $4. Not bad at all. There were multiple copies, but I like this one is like super floppy, perfect. So happy with the Penguin Classics edition of that one. And then it took me like 3 tries to find this one. This was only $2 for the mass market paperback of Anthony Trollope's Barchester Towers. So I recently, in Victober, read The Warden. I definitely do want to continue on with the series eventually. So I wanted to pick this up and have a copy on my shelves. So that's pretty much it. I think, or I assume, this is going to continue following characters in this village of Barchester. Most likely we had kind of a small cast introduced surrounding the drama of the warden, who was kind of a church figure, and him having to deal with drama and conflict surrounding his position there as warden. So I'm hoping this is going to continue on shortly after that. Then we have a big pile. If you don't buy manga, you may not know these are crazy expensive. So I was very happy to find these at $7.50 each. At Half Price Books, they have these like library carts that are sitting out and say, you know, kind of see it before it's shelved. So it's stuff that's just come in. And so I found books 2 through 6 of Delicious in Dungeon. And you can see this is a really fun manga that's following a group of, like a questing party, pretty standard stuff, but they have a quick turnaround. They are in a rush to get back to their friend in the dungeon, pretty much. And so one of them suggests, well, maybe we should forage and use the monsters that we kill as our supplies. And so, yeah, so it's a really fun, foodie sort of manga. A little silly. I have read the first one, so that I didn't need that one, so I was quite happy to see the 2nd through 6th here. And from what I've heard via Rhea at the Bookfinch, this does get really much more in-depth, and it continues that fun premise, but really does a lot more world building and has more insight to it. So I'm super excited to continue on with these. And then we've got the last couple, the hardbacks, in fact. I grabbed this because I couldn't leave it. Basically, the Dinosaur Fantastic. And this is a collection of dinosaur-themed stories edited by Mike Resnick and Martin H. Greenberg. So it says, the long-vanished rulers of Earth live again in these all-new tales that cross the time barrier from the Jurassic Age to our own. Now, there are a few authors I did know. So there are some good names in here. Judith Tarr, Pat Cadigan, Mercedes Lackey, Catherine Kerr, and then a lot more that I don't know. So I'm very interested in what this will be, but even if I don't get to it, I'm just happy to have this on my shelves. And you can even see his no humans button. It's so wild. Then we have Sophia Samatar's Tender. This was $8, so this was one of the more expensive ones, but this is a fairly, I think, rare book. I have never seen it out in the wild before. And again, a nice hardback. So this is in very good condition. This is like a short fiction collection, as far as I know, and Sophia Samatar is a speculative and poetry author who has written very widely. So I have another of Samatar's works on my shelves to get to, but I'm still very happy to have this in my collection as well. Then we have Lanny by Max Porter. This one I know is one of Jen Campbell's favorite books of all time. And this is like a modern day Green Man myth retelling. I don't know, it always sounds very weird and whimsical when people talk about it. So I've been very intrigued to pick up this one and Porter's other book. Grief is the Thing with Feathers, maybe, I think is the title. But yeah, I think this is going to be really beautifully written, and this one was another clearance book for $2. It's in perfect condition and a hardback, so very, very happy with that. And then finally, I've got a duo of books. I've got Fuzzy Nation by John Scalzi and Little Fuzzy by H. Beam Piper, both of which I have actually read, but they are some of my favorites. I think Fuzzy Nation is probably my favorite John Scalzi book. It's really well executed, but it is a literal rewrite of Little Fuzzy, and he's very, very open about that. Little Fuzzy is in public domain, is the word I'm thinking of. So you can go out onto Project Gutenberg and read it. And I did. After I read Fuzzy Nation, I got on Project Gutenberg thinking I was reading a short story, and I wound up just reading this whole 300-page novel on the website. And I had a great time with it. It flew by. And it's amazing how modern this is, because it's very much all about the discovery of a new species on this planet. Our main character gets embroiled in a courtroom drama about the fact that is this a sentient species that deserve their own rights, and the corporation that wants to make that not happen. So both stories are very good and hold up in different ways. Or they are both the same story, but the writing of both of them holds up in different ways. And for me, they both feel equally imminent and relevant to today. So I'm really happy to have a copy of each of these, because I could definitely see myself rereading either or both of them. So that is it for my massive haul. As I said, I'm super happy that I was able to get that big pile out of my birthday gifts and a few other handful of things. I don't foresee myself buying any more books for the rest of the year, even with Christmas. So this will be the last haul of the year, that's for sure. So thank you as always for watching, and let me know which of these books I need to get to soon. Which ones should go on my 2023 TBR is actually the most important thing to decide here. So yeah, hit me up in the comments if you think these should be my priorities, and thank you so much for watching.